Hey, C-Max here. I'm going to show you a little demonstration between the different scales that I have. Um, Electronic scale, RCBS, magnetic dampening balance, and the Pacific, which is Hornady magnetic dampening balance scale. I took 6 of my 55 grain 223 jacketed bullets. And before I set everything up, I weighed them, every one of them on here, and I was happy to see that every one of them weighed 55.1. So I set the scales up on 55.1 on the other two to show the comparison. And then when I set the camera up and turned the camera on, they weighed 55.4. Every one of them. I mean, this was just a couple of minutes ago. I don't know if this thing is just a cheap piece of junk or what, or if other things, the metal here is affecting it. I've heard of that. So I don't know, but I don't have a lot of confidence in the electronic. Now I'm going to turn it on here and I'm going to measure it again. Let's see what we get this time. $55.4. If you look down, I'll zoom in here on the RCBS. As soon as it focuses there, you're going to see I'm at 55.1, and the scale, a bit closer, is 1 mark up above 0. Now, if we go to the Pacific scale, we get the same kind of thing there. We're at 55.1 and one mark up. That's just a quick example of why I never really use the electronic scale. Just don't have a lot of confidence in it. I like the Pacific the most. These two are measuring the same, which is great, but I don't like the way that you final zero this one. I don't, there's stickers on top of places where everything on that one is made into metal, more precise just setup. It's just higher quality without a doubt, and it feels better to use, and I have more confidence with it. Anyway, quick rundown on scales I use. I'd like to hear about what y'all use. Hey, C-Max, back. After watching that first cut, I kind of wanted to come back and do some additional stuff on the scales. The top scale is a Pacific Model M, which is Hornady. The bottom one is RCBS, and it's made by OHAS. Who used to make the triple beams that you probably had in chemistry class and everything. The electronic scale that in the first segment, I want to come back. Electronic scales, if you pay the money, they may work great. Now this is a low-end scale. It's probably made for like weighing gold rings or something like that, And I didn't really, I knew it was low end, but I really didn't have a problem with it not being exact, because it really didn't matter, because I really got it to weigh bullets. And, why would I weigh bullets is because I want consistency. Your accuracy is your consistency. So if all the bullets weigh the same, they're all going to act similar in their flight characteristics. That's one of the first things the snipers and stuff do when they're loading their ammo is they weigh the bullets. So even if it wasn't exact, as long as it reported consistency, didn't matter, because they're all the same. But I haven't gotten the consistency out of it, and my faith in it's real low. So, I don't want to come out and be too hard on electronic scales, because that's a broad category. Some of these other ones are probably really good, but I don't have them. But I will say this, your scale is the most important equipment you have. It needs to be as exact as possible for whatever you want to do in the reloading. But if you can load fine off the little Lee press that I have, the $25 press, fine. But when it comes to the scales, you need to have the best that you can get. Like I said, the electronic, mine was low end, but I didn't plan on weighing powder with it, so I thought it would be fine. I assumed the consistency would be there, but it's not. So back to the two different scales. Both of them weigh the same. I mean, they're exactly the same, so that's encouraging. The Pacific has always just seemed to be jam on. Every time I test something, and here comes the air conditioner, it's the same. I mean, it works over and over. The consistency's there. It's not an issue. I also want to state, I built this shelf right here just for the scale. And the reason I did that is, one, when I'm sitting on the bench, I wanted it to be eye level so I could read this correctly. Second, if I bumped the scale or whatever, it's not going to have as much effect on the shelf, on the balance beam. So it kind of detaches it away from anything I'm doing on the, within reason, on the bench. Now let's go back to the RCBS. They're both magnetic dampening, which means they've got magnets that keep the scale from what they refer to as oscillating or going like a spring back and forth and taking forever to get a reading. They use magnets to slow it down. Doesn't affect anything other than just keep it from going over and over and over again, like a pendulum, basically. One thing I don't like, it's a lighter weight. The calibration. To calibrate this thing, you have to take the pan right down there. Come on. There we go. In that pan, or below what holds the pan, let me move it out of the way, is how you calibrate this one right there. And you really can't do it. To calibrate it, you have to add pieces of lead in this pan, this bottom sump here, below the pan holder. Basically, they tell you have to send it back to the manufacturer to get them to do it. I don't like that. I don't see a need for that. The other design is much better, and I'll get to that in a minute. This doesn't weigh enough. It's sufficient. Prefer solid. Just on the power trickler here. That Redding power trickler is the best on the market. It's super heavy, so you can operate one hand without worrying about tipping it over with the slightest little bump. And it'll drop one flake at a time, or one piece of powder at a time. It's really good. The other thing I don't like is the scale things are stickers. I don't like that. It's accurate. It's on there. But I prefer etched into the metal like we have on the Model M. Another thing I don't really care for is this rotary adjustment. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get something to get behind it to make it focus. Now, the problem I have is I don't see as well. Y'all know I pull out the magnifying glass, and actually to set the setting that it's on, I had to didn't use Modaddy, but I had to use this one because I just couldn't tell. And I actually had originally, from my regular eyesight, had set it up on 7. But it's actually set up on 158 because I have a 158 grain spear bullet. But what you have to do is, you see you have 0, 1, 2 on this rotary drum here, and then you have 0 through 10 here. So to be 8, you have to get this line on 8 at 0 across the bottom. So you kind of have to intersect right there. Then it's got a tight down screw on the back. Do like the little tight down screw. But I don't like that. I much prefer the other style, the 3 pros that they say. One thing I do like on the RCBS, the tray here. I do like the way the tray is a little bit bigger. I like the shape of it, and I like how easy it fits on the holder. I mean, that's just easy. It's better than the Model M. The Model M, you've got this pan that fits down in this. It works fine. It's just not as easy getting in and out. It's a little bit more. It's not critical or prohibitive or anything, but this one you have to kind of get it in and sit it in there, you know, and you want to make sure you sit it in there just right. But it really only goes one way. But setting this pan in here like that is just easier. I do like that. In fact, I've thought about using this setup on that, but I would, or possibly just setting this on that, but I don't know. I might change the calibration. So I haven't done it. Probably ask that out and find out. But I do like the pan setup on that. Now on the Pacific, the Model M, high confidence. Everything I've done with this thing has been consistent. And I've used it pretty much exclusively. Now, let me say, there is no better feeling for me reloading when you load ammunition. You have to stop. Kids are calling. You got to go here. You got to go to work. And you walk away for a week, 2 weeks, and then you come back. Hey, you know, I'm ready to do some reload. I'm going to reload again. And you test your powder drop. Boom! It's dead on. Your scale's dead on. You pump out this ammunition. You go to the gun club or the range. You chronograph it. You know, you load all these different rounds, you chronograph them, come back, get your averages, compare it to the load data book, and you're within 10 feet per second of the load data. That is awesome. That's one, and it's been working for me, and I'm lucky. Blind hog finds an acorn, be that close, I think. But it's a heck of a feeling. I mean, it's really cool. So, strive for that, I would think. Some people just really don't care. As long as it goes bang, it's good enough. I try to be a little more precise than that. Well, actually, a lot more. But that, to me, that's the fun of it. And I've gotten that out of the Hornaday drops. You know, the big red press, 76 High Boy in his early videos. In fact, that's how I met him. Showed me how to set this up, and it would be accurate. And it's dead on accurate. In some of the videos you've seen, you know, I'll test it, boom, you know, and show you every time it's dead on. Walk away for a week, come back, and it's exactly the same. Okay, for the Pacific, let me zoom in on it. Let's see here. Okay, that's better. That'll work. Okay. On the Pacific, let's see here. Heavier material, larger. This is your one thing that I did wrong when I first started using this is how you calibrate it, how you zero it. This up in the front here, this is your zero. This is not. And if you stop and you think about it for a second, this is an easy way to remember. It's got two bolts here back to back. And the reason for that is you calibrate it and you lock those two together so they won't move. It's in calibration. Then you zero with the adjustment here. If you do that, you have no problem at all. And you think about the two nuts. If that was not meant to calibrate and be locked into place, you would only need one nut just to back and forth to zero it out. So that's an easy way to remember and know. Like the metal, the marks in it, some of the newer ones, all they have is just a zero mark. Like right here, there's just a mark in the body. Does it make a difference? No, not really. I just happen to like the scale. I like that it's etched in the bar. I like that there's 3 settings, and I like how easy it is to set them. I mean, it's pretty easy. You don't have a little light wafer piece of metal that you're sticking in the thing. Now that's a small piece, but it's square and very easy to maneuver. So you want ease of use. And like I said, the only thing that's really not super easy to use on this is the pan setup. The other one is far superior on the pan setup. So those are the big differences, and why I like the Pacific. In this instant, the older's better. I think they just made them better back then. Everything seems to work out for me on that. Well, that's about it on this. I just wanted to go through and show you the scales I use and what I do. Part of the fun, my advice, and all this is my opinion, guys. It's not right or wrong. This is not the best equipment on the planet. It's just the best equipment that I have and I've used. Just my opinion. Welcome other opinions, what you do, what you like, what you don't. I bet the really good electronic ones are far superior in all this. I'm a little old school. I like the magnetic dampening balance scales. Seems to me logically to be inherently more accurate. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Okay. I was talking about the difference in the weight, so I thought I'd weigh them. Let's see how much difference there is here. So we're going to start off with the RCBS 9070, which I think is similar for one of the newer models. So we've got 1 pound, 3 7/8 ounces. Okay. And now let's do the Pacific. I don't know that's all that much. Hold on. Let's see here. 1 pound, 7 1/4 ounces. So, what is 4 ounces heavier? But I believe because it's so much longer that it gives the impression that it's heavier or more stable. Because I would have thought it weighed much more than that. But that's going to do it for this. I'd please like to know what you use, what your experiences have been. Please post that in the comments so we can share it with everyone in the community. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. You know the rules. Pick up a gun, check the chamber. Keep your finger off the trigger to be ready to fire. Always know where the muzzle's pointed. Be safe, have fun, have a great day. Like and subscribe. Thank you.